today we're going to sort of zero in on some tools that can really help with that. We're talking about advanced phrasal verbs.
Right. Not your everyday get up or look out. These are ones that add a level of sophistication, maybe a more academic feel.
Yeah, sophistication, but also precision, right? It's
Yeah.
not just about sounding smart. It's about choosing the word that conveys exactly what you mean.
Precisely. Replacing simpler words with these can make your writing much more nuanced and, frankly, more impressive. It signals a deeper command of the language.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. Explore 10 of these useful phrasal verbs. We'll look at their meanings, how they're used, and, how you can actually use them to make your writing stand out.
Think of it as unlocking a new level in your communication skills.
Okay, let's dive right in. First up, carry out.
Carry out. Yeah, this is a really good one to start with. It basically means to conduct or perform something, usually a task or research.
So more formal than just saying do.
Definitely. It often implies a more planned, systematic process. You hear it a lot in academic writing, scientific contexts, reports.
Makes sense. We have an example here. Instead of, say, scientists are doing a lot of research.
Right, which is fine, but a bit plain.
You could say, scientists are carrying out extensive research to better understand the effects of climate change.
Exactly. See how carrying out feels more deliberate? And notice the other upgrades too. Extensive research, better understand. It all works together.
Okay, got it. And another one, like instead of, it's important to do analysis before introducing a policy.
You could level that up to something like, for implementing a new policy, it is of paramount importance to carry out a thorough analysis of its potential impact.
Wow, okay. Paramount importance. Carry out a thorough analysis. Potential impact. That sounds much weightier.
It does. So you'll often find carry out paired with words like task, research, analysis, investigation, survey, things that imply methodical work.
Right, methodical. That's a good keyword for it. Okay, moving on. What about point out?
Point out. This one is all about drawing attention to something specific, highlighting it.
Like you're literally pointing your finger at it on the page, metaphorically speaking.
That's a perfect analogy, yeah. It's more active than just show or mention. You're making sure the reader sees this particular piece of information.
Okay, so instead of teachers need to show the benefits of exercise.
You could say teachers need to point out the benefits of regular exercise in improving cognitive function. It feels more direct, more emphatic.
And again, those nice upgrades. Regular exercise, cognitive function, they add to the effect.
Absolutely. Or consider this. Instead of just saying it's important to show the risks of social media.
You could frame it as, it is of paramount importance to point out the potential risks associated with excessive social media usage.
See, point out really underscores the significance, especially with paramount importance and potential risks. It adds urgency.
So use point out. When you want to emphasize something, make sure it lands. Okay, next, figure out.
Figure out. This one's common in speech, but it's also really useful in writing, especially when you want to convey the process of solving something or coming to understand it.
Right, it feels more active than just solve or find a solution. It implies some mental effort, maybe some trial and error.
Exactly. It suggests a process of discovery. So instead of saying governments need to find a way to balance economic growth with the environment.
Which sounds a bit passive.
Right. You can make it more dynamic. In order to promote sustainable development, governments need to figure out how to balance economic growth with environmental preservation.
Figure out injects that sense of tackling a challenge, and environmental preservation sounds more specific than just the environment.
Precisely. Or think about healthcare. Instead of a big difficulty is to solve a way to provide cheap service.
You could say, one of the key challenges in the healthcare sector is to figure out how to provide affordable and accessible services for everyone.
Yeah. Figure out works perfectly with key challenges.
Mhm.
It highlights the problem-solving aspect. And affordable and accessible are much better terms than cheap and easy.
Definitely more professional. So figure out emphasizes the mental work involved. Okay, what about put forward?
Put forward. This is great when you're talking about proposing something, an idea, a suggestion, an argument. It's more formal than just suggest.
It sounds like you're actively presenting it for consideration.
That's exactly the sense it conveys. So instead of the student suggested a good argument,
Try. The student put forward a compelling argument in favor of renewable energy.
much stronger, isn't it? Put forward feels more assertive, and compelling argument boosts the impact. In favor of is also a nice touch over in support of.
It flows well in another example, maybe about experts.
Sure. Instead of, many experts suggested the idea that investing in renewable energy is good.
You could refine that too. Many experts have put forward the idea that investing in renewable energy can lead to both environmental sustainability and economic growth.
Again, put forward adds that formal weight. And we've got those more precise terms like environmental sustainability and economic growth.
So put forward is for formally presenting ideas or arguments.
Got it.
Next on the list is take into account.
Take into account. This basically means to consider specific factors when you're thinking about something or making a decision. It's a step up from just consider.
It implies a bit more deliberation, maybe, like you're consciously including these factors.
Exactly. It highlights that these elements are being given proper weight. For instance, talking about old buildings, instead of city authorities ought to consider the cultural heritage.
You'd say city authorities ought to take into account the cultural heritage and historical importance of the building.
Right. It just sounds a bit more thorough, more formal. It emphasizes that these aren't just minor points. They must be part of the calculation.
Okay. And safety concerns. Instead of, it's important to consider if the building is safe.
Elevated too. It is vital to take into account whether the building is safe or not for residents who live nearby.
Using vital instead of important. Take into account for consider and residents who live nearby for people who live close. Nice combination.
It all works together to create a more considered and sophisticated tone.
So take into account signals careful, formal consideration of factors. Okay, now for one with multiple meanings, make up.
Yes, make up is versatile. Two meanings are particularly useful here. First, it can mean to compensate for something lacking.
Like making amends.
Sort of, yeah, compensating. Our source gives an example related to parenting, and instead of parents give gifts to compensate for not being with them.
You could say, many parents give their children a lot of gifts to make up for not being present in their lives.
Exactly, make up for feels quite natural there, maybe slightly less formal than compensate, but very common. Paired with not being present, it works well.
Okay, so that's meaning one. Compensate. What's the second?
The second common meaning is to invent something, like a story or an excuse. Fabricate.
Right, like telling fibs.
Pretty much. So instead of spoiled children might invent stories.
You could write, children who are spoiled from a young age are more likely to make up stories to get their own way.
Yeah, make up stories is a very standard, natural phrase for inventing narratives. And the tweak from when they are young to from a young age adds a little formality.
So with makeup, context is everything. Is it compensating or inventing? Good to know both.
All right, next.
Give rise to.
Give rise to. This is a powerful one. It means that something causes or creates a particular situation, feeling, or reaction. It's often more formal and impactful than just create or cause.
It sounds like it implies a significant outcome or consequence.
It often does. For example, instead of saying social media growth created new challenges.
Enhance it to. The rapid growth of social media has given rise to new challenges regarding online privacy and security.
Exactly. Adding rapid helps, but given rise to really suggests these challenges emerged as a significant consequence of that growth. It carries more weight than created.
Okay. And with AI, instead of AI advances created concerns.
Simply. Advances in AI have given rise to concerns about job losses and the need for reskilling.
Again, given rise to makes the emergence of those concerns feel more substantial.
It does. It's a great choice when you want to signal that something has brought about a notable situation or reaction.
Excellent. Next we have lead to. Pretty common, this one.
Very common, very useful. Lead to simply means to result in or cause something. It's a straightforward way to show a cause and effect relationship.
Direct consequence.
Exactly. Like in discussions about parenting again, instead of giving lots of gifts can result in them becoming spoiled.
You could use more vivid language. Showering young children with gifts can lead to them becoming unappreciative and spoiled.
Yes, showering adds impact, and lead to clearly states the outcome. It's very direct.
And the source mentioned it's particularly good when you need to discuss consequences, right?
Absolutely. If you're asked about the effects or results of something, lead to is a natural and strong verb to use.
Okay, so lead to for clear cause and effect. Nearly there. What about stem from?
Stem from. This means something originates or arises from a specific cause or source. Think of a plant stem growing from its roots.
That's a helpful image. So it's a more sophisticated way to say be caused by.
Precisely. It suggests an underlying origin. Instead of youth crime can be caused by lack of opportunities.
You could say the rise in youth crime can often stem from a lack of educational opportunities and socioeconomic disadvantages.
You see, stem from sounds more analytical, more academic than just be caused by. And refining not enough to a lack of helps too.
Okay. And another quick one, mental health.
Sure, instead of mental health issues can be caused by exam stress.
Try. Mental health issues such as anxiety and depression can stem from the stress of exams.
Again, stem from points to the root cause in a slightly more sophisticated way.
So use stem from to indicate the origin or underlying cause.
Right. And finally, culminate in.
Culminate in. This one describes reaching a final significant point or outcome, usually after a series of developments or a period of effort. It's similar to lead to, but often implies a more significant climax or end result.
A grand finale, maybe?
Sometimes, yeah. It suggests a process building up to something important. So instead of long-term investments result in a skilled workforce.
You could say long-term investments in education and skill development culminate in a highly educated workforce and economic prosperity.
Culminate really emphasizes that this positive outcome is the final significant result of that sustained investment over time.
Got it. And one more, like personal achievement.
Yep, instead of years of hard work resulted in her winning.
Go with years of hard work and dedication culminated in her winning the championship.
Perfect. Culminated in highlights the championship as the peak achievement after all that effort. It often carries that sense of a long buildup. Okay, wow. So that's 10 really powerful phrasal verbs. Carry out, point out, figure out, put forward, take into account, make up both meanings, give rise to, lead to, stem from, and culminate in.
Quite a list. And you can see how each one offers a slightly different shade of meaning, a way to express ideas with more precision and often more impact than simpler verbs.
Absolutely. It feels like consciously using these isn't just about vocabulary. It's about sharpening your thinking and communicating it more effectively.
Exactly. You're signaling a deeper understanding and a more sophisticated grasp of the language. It makes your arguments clearer, your descriptions more vivid.
So the takeaway for you listening is to think about your own writing. Where could you maybe swap out a simple verb for one of these? Where could carry out add formality or point out add emphasis or stem from show a deeper cause?
It's not about completely changing how you write, but about having more tools in your toolkit, enhancing the power and precision you already have.
Definitely something to mull over. What other little linguistic keys are out there just waiting to unlock even more effective communication? Food for thought.